right. Okay. We are gonna move on now to painting the flowers in our Highland cow's hair right here. And if you are experienced with painting flowers and you want to do a different type of flower than I am, by all means go ahead and paint whatever type of flower you can think of. If you have other colors and you want to make them purple or go in a different direction, that is completely up to you. But I have gotten some red paint, some yellow paint, white, black, and that burnt sienna ready here on my palette. I just got some green. I forgot about that, but we definitely want to put some leaves around our flowers. And I want to do a rose, and I'm also a big fan of dogwood flowers, so I'm thinking about a rose and maybe a couple dogwood flowers and some leaves around that. So let's start off here. I'm going to do the rose first, getting some of that red paint on my brush. I'm going to load the paint up, or so the paintbrush up with the red paint, and then right on the paintbrush I'm going to grab just a little bit of black and dab it in just to the tip. So it should look like this. If you can see, just black on the top and then red underneath that. Right where the ear meets the horn, I'm going to start. And I'm just going to do a little circle right in the middle. Okay, and I just kind of twist my brush around to make that center part of my rose. I kind of wiped my brush a little bit off, and then I'm going to grab some more red, coming right in, painting a petal. I'm just going to go around and paint, just twist my brush in a C motion around that center black dot. And go out. Continue to go out and around. Now I'm going to grab my white paint, load up my brush with the white, grab a little more red, and just start adding more petals on top. And more white. Pretty good. I think I might let that dry before I'll go in and add any other details that I might want to, just because if you mess with it too early, try to paint on top of it, it could just smear the paint and make it. So I think I will add a couple leaves. So I'm going to grab my green, and this green that I have is a little bit blue, so I'm going to add some yellow to it. It has more of a blue undertone, and this yellow will really get it more where I want it to be. Though I am going to grab a tiny bit of black to dull it just a bit right on the tip of my brush. So I like to use this angled brush because I can just put a little bit of that black right on the tip. So when I come in here with this leaf, I can just go up, out. Grab more of that green. Again, a little bit of blackberry tip. Up. Come back in. All right. Making more of that green and yellow mixture. I'm going to again grab a tiny bit of black right in the tip and do one more leaf right here, coming straight up. Just do the line in the middle and down. This side. Okay. Maybe one more actually down here. Black. Okay. I'm gonna rinse my brush. And I'm gonna take my small round brush and come in with some white, a little bit of red just to pink it up a tiny bit. Then come into my rose and add a few highlights into the petals, just to make sure that the spaces where the flowers coming over these overlapping lines, like the horn and the hair, I don't want to see the background coming through the petals. So I'm just going to come in with red and with white, just make sure that those petals really cover up the background. And then I can add in some more swirls in the center of the rose, more highlights throughout, just with the white. Now my favorite flower is the dogwood flower, so that is the other one that I'm going to be painting here. I'm going to do a mostly white dogwood flower with just a hint of pink on the edges of the of the petals. So I'm going to fill up my brush with white paint and then kind of dip the end in the pink. Just a real light pink here on the end. And then lay out next to this rose. These guys have 4 petals. Nervous bringing it so early. Need some more paint. Just grab most of the white here. 4. While that dries, I'm going to come over. Let's see here. Do another one right here, but I'm going to do it kind of on its side, that it's facing out this way. So do 2. So this one's going straight down, just curving down, up. This one's kind of going to go up at a diagonal and come back, kind of making it darker than the rest. I was going to add a 4th one right here, but I just don't think that's right. I actually think we're going to need one more just peeking up through the top anyways, so that is going to go over our green. So if you accidentally get green on your paintbrush, just rinse it off. Go right back into the white. Wipe it off. You have to wait for that to dry and come back and do another layer. One one more leaf just peeking out the bottom. I don't really want it to go over the rose, so I'm just going to try to creep around it. I grabbed some of that green. Now this first flower is probably dry, so I'm going back into my white, over that line. Filling in all those petals in again. I might grab a little bit of red, push it into the tips, blend it back. Some streaks on right through the flower itself, petal itself, just like that. And same thing over here. Blend that with some more white here, and then over that. A little bit too pink, because I can just go back with the white, blend it really good. It's going to take about 3 layers usually to get something in the foreground to cover up all the background stuff anyways, so it's a-okay. Okay, happy with that. Now the dogwood flowers will need the center bits. I can't think of what they're called right now. But we're gonna paint some circles. Starting with our Burnt Sienna. I'm gonna grab that, and I'm just gonna start just painting some little circles in the shape of a circle with that brown. This one's on its side, so I'm just gonna give it kind of more of a half circle shape. Or like make sure it has kind of a triangle base to it, circle on the end. So I'm gonna let those dry. While I have this burnt sienna on my brush, you can look at your and see if there's any areas. I noticed that right here, I could still see some of the canvas go through. So I just wanted to come back in. This smaller brush will just let me get into some of the tighter spaces, which I want to come in with a little bit of that darker brown too. So I'm going to mix some black with the burnt sienna, just coming around the nose, mixing it with, it's a little dark. I'm going to mix it with some more brown. And you can play with the lights and shadows kind of endlessly in paintings like this, but I just wanted to put more in. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so if you're happy with the way that your hair is falling, keep it the way it is. And I was thinking right up in here, okay, better. Now our little dots are probably just about dry. I'm gonna grab some white and a little bit of yellow, maybe a tiny bit of brown, just to tone it down a bit. So that's white, yellow, and brown, and I'm just gonna dot. You don't have to go over every single one of your previous dots, just go in with some few new dots. And then after you get that, mix in some white and do it again. And, oh. That will really bring them all out. And just add my rose a little bit too. Right along the top of this horn, I'll just add a little bit of a highlight, back and forth real gently, just anywhere where there are highlights. As this brush gets drier, the details get more subtle. You kind of have to smash it against the canvas to get those details, but that's where some of like the more magical stuff happens in painting. Okay. The only thing I could think is maybe a little bit more white hair. And now, last but not least, just in the background here, all of this wood needs to be scruffed up a little bit. So we're gonna grab some of that brown paint, get it nice and saturated on your brush, even a little bit of that black, get it darker. You don't even have to sum super well, just get that brown and that black on the brush, and then I'm gonna wipe some of it off on my paper towel, just back and forth until most of it's off. And now I'm gonna come in just rub it into some of these white areas along these boards. I'm gonna separate here a little bit, so I want to make sure I hide that brown splotch. You can use the medium brush for this, or even the large flat brush if you like. Just grabbing more paint again, most of it off before coming in here. In some places I'm just going to go down, and then in other places like I did over here, just going to rub my brush all over the place. Get a feel for it before you're going absolutely crazy, I would say. Balance between it looking intentionally messy and then accidentally messing up your painting, so no pressure. Wipe. You can kind of feel when the brush doesn't have as much water on it. Just starts to you know, rub against the paper towel a certain way, and I'd say that's the best time to do a dry brush technique like this. Just coming through. You could do some crisscrosses and X's and whatever just feels right. A bit more brown this time around, just coming in with just the burnt sienna. And then I'll probably do one more with just a little bit more of just the black to do a few details like that. And she'll be all done. Just the black. Wipe, 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 wipe. And just a few little isolated details throughout here. Alright. And of course you can sign your painting. There's that dark brown burnt sienna. For watching. Hopefully you'll come back again for a future video. I don't know if I'm going to keep posting these on here, but I have a job this summer to do this painting for a class, so I figured I might as well film myself making the painting in preparation. So thank you for watching if you stuck around, and let me know some feedback because I'm still pretty new at this and I'm open. Thanks again. Bye-bye.